Hey,
Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School Fish Art Stream. J-Man wants a Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness. J-Man says the tail's where you put all the heavy artillery. Damn. Said he used to have a howitzer on the end of his tail.
that little bit from the end right there when J Man came on and was commenting, that makes me laugh every freaking time. Anyway, welcome. I'm glad you're here, Kyron. I'm glad you can make it. I almost didn't make it myself, man. It has been a rough couple of weeks. It's been a rough year. I mean, it's just this year just been kicking me in the teeth once after another. But yeah, what is up, PJ? PJ's in the house. Just got him some files, so hopefully we can get the website up and going soon. Because dude over at Fake Comics was really nice to shout out my comics and shouted out my website. It's like, oh, he's got a Kickstarter coming soon. No, that was a Kickstarter for KAAW 1. I haven't updated the old site because I've been waiting to do the new one and just never got around to it. What is up, Sarah? Glad to see you. I was just filling the old boys in on how it's been going. Glad everybody could make it. Today, my hope is to try and get further along on further along in the process of explaining color flats than we did last time. Um, got a little sidetracked last time. Got a little yakky yakky going, and little less dewy dewy, and a lot more talky talky. Let me see. Open up ye old files here. Go call 3 because that's what we's up to these days. Let's see, what page were we? Oh no, that's not where it was. We was over here. We was working on one big old file because we cool like that now that we big shot using Clip Studio EX. Uh, that's the page we were on right there. I'd recognize it anywhere. And didn't really get any further than just kind of cleaning up the color flats a little bit. But we did do that, and I think I got all the main parts that I could notice. Like his hat was colored the same color as his skin, stuff like that. Everything else looks pretty good and pretty clean. So we can go from there. Okay, we've got our color flat layer there. I'm going to lock it so I don't accidentally mess it up. Kyron says, "Oh yeah, I ended up drawing KAAW 18 times in issue 2 of Cerber." So if that tells us anything at all, that tells us you absolutely have to pick up issue 2 of Cerber just so you can get the 18 freaking KAAW cameos and see if you can spot all 18 of them. Because if you can spot all 18 of them, I'll bet you Kyron will buy you a car or something. Something nice. Being as he's independently wealthy and what all, as all Californians are, that's the word on the street. That's pretty awesome, though. I have truly been proud of every time I've gotten to slip a cameo in the background of a book, and usually I go kind of obscure, like in okay, we just gonna talk. That's all we're gonna do. We ain't gonna get no work done. We just gonna talk. Uh, Hoyt Silva. I love Hoyt Silva's work. I first found him on Webtoons on a Webtoon last stop, and I freaking loved it. And basically, it's about like what if Superman were like a black guy and he was dying of cancer, and there's no way to cure him because like you can't get through his skin and stuff. So we know he's on his like last run as a hero here, and it is really powerful. It was really moving and it was funny and I freaking loved it. And I was really captivated by how simple his art style was and how simple the coloring was. It really blew me away because it looked gorgeous and it was very simple and quick and easy to do, which just because here I was doing all these complicated colors and he's using black, white, 50% gray, and then one other color in each scene. And that color would change, but between those colors, he would make really cool looking scenes. I freaking loved it. If you haven't checked out Last Stop on Webtoons, absolutely do it. Or pick up the graphic novel that's out in comic book stores. You can probably find it on some back issue shelves. I've seen it in the wild a few times. I ordered it right away when it came out. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. Big fan of his. So there's more than once, like in the background of stuff in other comics, you will see a fist that it kind of looks like a Black Power fist a little bit on people's t-shirts and stuff, but it was the logo, it was like the shield logo for his world of Fist, which was like the organization, I think was the acronym of the good guys. And so like it's a little obscure. I do stuff like that more than, like just sticking hot shot on something, but uh I absolutely do love sticking stuff like that in there. And I like sticking my friends and stuff in the backgrounds of books. What is up, Marquise? Good to see you, man. Like, oh, I've stuck so many friends in the backgrounds of books and stuff. My kids end up in all the books. I end up in almost all the books, except surprisingly my own books. Like Green Zone, kind of hard to stick people in the background because most of the time they're mutants and stuff. So like it's kind of hard J-Man's in the background of Green Zone as a human, but it's kind of hard to slip people in as mutants and still have them be recognizable. And and then in KAAW, it was just him and a bunch of aliens up until issue 3. So, it was hard to stick anybody else in there. Now he's got a character in there in issue 3 that is directly drawn from my daughters as an inspiration. And it's this badass woman, Cass. You've probably seen her on the cover. I've shared on Facebook and stuff. Anyway, that's not what we're supposed to be here for. We're not supposed to be going down a rabbit hole of cameos. We're supposed to be talking about how to use color flats to color your pages. Kyron. Oh, he's so good at getting me distracted. All right. So now that we have our color flats, we fixed them last week on the show. We fixed the little issues that there were. We talked about how you need to keep anti-alias turned off so that it doesn't blur the edges, because blurred edges means it's not going to be able to select all those colors. You want nice jagged edges on your flats. My flats are on a layer below my ink lines. My ink lines sit on top and are transparent. I'm going to go now on a layer above my reference layer. It has the little lighthouse turned on, which says this is my reference layer down here. I'm going to a layer above it, and then I'm going to select color gamut, which I added to my top toolbar. I'm going to turn it off a selected layer and use reference layer. So now wherever I touch, it's going to pick that color on the reference layer, not the layer that I'm on. The layer I'm on is empty right now, so it would just select everything. So now it not only just selected that color, but ideally it has selected everywhere that wall of waterfall shows up in the page. So now I can pick a color that I want that to be and paint it. And I'm just going to pick this blue for now just to put it in place. I may well change it as time goes on. And now every place on the screen that waterfall was is now the blue that I picked. Now I'm going to pick the sky, and the same thing. It picked the sky here, and it picked the sky here and here in the background. So now I can make that a lighter blue and paint bucket fill the whole screen, but it's only filling where it's selected. So now it filled in those. If I turn that layer off, it goes back to the colors that it was. If I turn off my flats, we can see it's only filled in those areas. Everything else is still transparent. Sometimes it can be hard to tell if you've covered everything, because sometimes your color flats aren't that bad. And sometimes they're pretty close to where you wanted them to be. So you don't necessarily notice that I didn't color that spot. So sometimes it's good to turn them off just to make sure you can see if you've colored everything. Or sometimes, like, I will give, turn this off. One thing I will do is I will give really good color references to my color flatter, and I will give her really clear color references of like Virgil's base skin color for Green Zone, and the base blue color for their uniforms, and the green color for their stripes on their uniforms, and the gold for their badges and everything else, the dark blue for their ties and their shoes. And I'll give her all those colors laid out in a nice clear color chart for each character. And she will usually pick very close to those colors, if not exactly on them. So a lot of times, like especially on Green Zone, when I get the pages back, all the characters are basically flatted in with the right colors. She will take an extra step of changing the shades of blue, like on the uniform jackets, if the people are overlapping, so that it's easy to select, like Virgil from Kim, if their bodies are overlapping. But otherwise, all the uniforms will be the same shade of blue, and makes it very easy to just change the things that need to be changed, and makes coloring very, very quick. So that's one thing I might recommend is making a really nice clear color chart and say, hey, use these colors when you flat it and it will save you time. It's not quite exactly like getting somebody to color it for you, but it saves a lot of time. Um, all right, back to the mission at hand. Don't forget to turn on your screen, Fishy, so people can see what you're doing. Yeah, idiot. All right, now we are going to select color gamut. I'm going to select this mountain in the background, and then I'm going to look and see if anything else got selected with that. Okay, just this distant mountain in the background too. So, okay, cool. Because what I want to do is take that blue color of the sky, and then I want to go a little darker and a little more saturated and see what that looks like. Okay, I probably want to go a little lighter because I kind of want to push it further back into the distance. There we go. That's not bad. That's good enough for the chicks we date. That's what Kyron told me. I said, Kyron, that's insensitive. Kyron said he didn't care. He said he's not scared of nothing. Whoops. I got the wrong tool turned on. That's what I got. All right, go back to where we were. Grab that. Select color gamut. I'm going to select that rock wall. Now, like what she did here, she separated these two chunks of that rock wall. So if I want to paint this one, I can easily separate it from that one. I'm going to go ahead and select them both for now because I want to color them both at the same time. And then I'm going to go back to my color chart, my custom color chart. And not for nothing, all of these colors over here, I picked, except for the ones that I added, like when there's a line of unusual colors and some of the similar shades right there. Like that's a custom color chart I added for T-Man and Hyperstrike. But everything from here up is straight off of the DC color chart from like the 80s. And I just like using it because it gives me that old school kind of feel and it gives me a good jumping off point for my colors. Because for me, when I'm looking at this thing, there's just so much, there's a million different directions to go in. And that makes it hard for me to find a direction to go in because there's just a million ways I could go. Whereas if I have a place I'm jumping off from, like, okay, we're going to start from that brown, then I can decide, well, maybe I want to take it a little bit yellower and bring it over here a little bit. And let's see how that looks. We're going to paint it. Okay. Whoops. We clicked on something we didn't want to click on. It's not bad, but it's not great. I'm going to leave it for right now just because I'm going to select the top of the stairs and I'm going to pick a lighter, brighter shade of the same color and paint the tops of the stairs. I'm going to leave it for right now. I might decide to change it later. I'm going to select that. I'm selecting this color that she picked here for the recessed parts of that carved wall. And then I'm going to color pick the color of that wall and I'm going to go a little darker and a little more saturated. And then I'm going to lasso fill that area in. It's not bad. I'm not ecstatic about it, but I'm not hating it either. All right, I'm gonna select the water down there. I'm gonna pick the same color that I did there and paint it the same color from the waterfall. Again, I may change these colors later, but for right now, they're gonna work well enough for what I'm doing. I'm gonna select that color. I'm gonna come back over here and select my light blue again. There we go. And now I'm going to do a little bit of fancier coloring. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to come back in with my lasso fill tool. This time I'm going to turn my anti-aliasing on because I'm coloring now and not doing flats. And then I'm going to grab white as a highlight. And then I'm just going to draw some highlights in on some of these areas. And like that one, I missed the outlines pretty bad. So I'm going to come back in and grab the blue. There we go. Grab the blue here, fix that a little bit. Grab the white, and just give the hint that it's getting a little bit of highlight from off in that valley. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, kind of give a hint that it's getting a little bit of light from over there on that edge. I don't know if I want to put a shadow on it or not yet. I'm going to let it be for right now. All right. I'm going to select color gamut on her skin, which did not grab her everywhere. Apparently, she used a slightly different color for her there and here. Whoops, I missed it. Reset. Grab her skin there, grab her skin there, grab her skin there. And okay. All right. Got them all selected. Start at this base tone. I'm going to go a little darker, a little desaturated, see what that looks like. Oh, she looks dead. We don't want dead. That ain't what we came for, son. Didn't come for dead women. Nobody wants that. Well, nobody with any sense, anyway. Can't say nobody. There's always a Kyron out there somewhere. That was mean. But I stand by it. Let's see. Okay, that works. Let's see. Did it get her lips over here? Yep, it did. Good deal. All right. Let's. You know what? I'm going to grab all of their hairs. That didn't sound nice. I'm just going to grab all their hair. Because apparently that's what we're doing. And I'm thinking most of the ladies in this village would probably have very similar colored hair. So we're going to go pretty dark here. Give that no what for. And let's see. Let's grab this lady here. And here. Lady number 2. Oh, see. Now, okay. Well, that wasn't what I wanted. Okay. All right. So we are going to deselect this one. And then we're going to select this lady's skin color. And we're going to go just a little redder, just a little darker, more saturated. Oh, that was a little too much there, Fishy. You went a little chaotic with it. Don't need to be too crazy. All right. And now we'll grab this lady. And we'll use yield lasso fill to get her and not the other one. And then we'll cancel. We will deselect because I forgot to deselect before I went to make a new color selection. All right, that's the same color. And then lady number 3. Let's see. We'll make her skin just a hair lighter. A little more yellow, a little bit lighter. She's a little bit further in the distance there. Hopefully, that'll help make her feel a little bit further away. Maybe it won't. What are your thoughts on lasso versus the area selection tools? I personally, I like using the lasso fill myself because I'm already using the select color gamut to grab the areas. So, like, for instance, like let's say I want to put a highlight on this lady's face here. Now, one of the nice things about using select color gamut is I can select her skin, and I know when I go in to draw this highlight on her face, let's say, I don't have to worry about getting into the trees or getting into her eyes or her lips or her hair, and I don't have to retrace any of those lines. And the whole point about using select color gamut is you save yourself hours of tracing around shapes over and over and over again. So, like, if I wanted to use the lasso selection to get this, I have to trace around this line and then come down and get where I want. And then I have to trace along this line so that I don't get into her hair, all this stuff over and over again. I don't want to have to waste time tracing the same lines more than once. And this way, I don't have to trace them at all because the flatter already did all that hard work for me. So I select color gamut, I grab her skin, that area is already masked off. Now I can use the lasso fill tool and I have my anti-aliasing turned on. I'm just going to pick a yellow and we're going to say that the light is coming from above and in front of her here. And now I can just draw in the highlights wherever I want them on her. And I don't have to worry about anything that I don't like. I can draw all over here, it doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is when I draw inside that selection. I mean, now that's pretty garish looking, but I mean, you see what can be done really quickly. I don't I don't like those highlights and I don't want to keep them. So I'm gonna undo. But they're coming from the wrong direction. But that's why I like using the lasso fill tool and using the select color gamut. I don't have to worry. I only have to worry about tracing the important lines, and I only have to worry about doing them once. So, like, if I want to highlight her hair, I can do that. I only have to draw those lines once, but I don't have to get the outside of her hair. Like, see, if I wanted to highlight this with, say, I wanted to do a Superman style blue highlight in her hair. Okay, I don't have to trace the outside of that again. If I want to make the inside of her hat dark, I don't have to trace around her hair again like I would have just had to trace around for that highlight. It's not an issue because I don't have to worry about that. So I can just trace inside that line and boom, the inside of her hat's darker. It's so freaking nice, dude. It is so nice. And then I could come in and if I wanted to put a highlight in here, I could put a highlight down there. If I want to cut out part of this selection, I could get my lasso selection tool and turn it to subtract, and I could come subtract out the top part of the hat. And now I know anything I do in here is only going to be stuck to that one layer, that one area. But I don't have to do that. I mean, anyway, it has its options. But there you go. Forgot where I was at. Uh, Trying to lay down some base colors here. All right, now for all of this water wheat, I don't know. Ain't really rice. I don't know what it is. It's some new strain of cool water growing vegetables, grains for a later day. Let's see what that color looks like. That's not bad. Okay, now these are the heads of the wheat or whatever. This side is the bottom of that bushel, but she colored it the same. So I'm going to color pick the color for the stalks, and then I'm going to go a little darker and a little more saturated, but not quite the same color as over here. Probably need to go a little bit lighter. All right. Oh, Steven messaged me. All righty. Let's see. What color do we want to make their robes that they are working in every day? I don't know. I didn't really think it that far through. I would think in reality, okay, let's think this through as a group project. Yeah. I would think in reality, if they have made and harvested the materials to make this clothing and made it themselves, it probably would be a pretty natural color, I would think. The problem is the wheat is already a beigeish brown, her skin is already a beigeish brown. Like there's already a lot of very natural earth tones going on right there. And I need these to kind of stand out a little bit. The bright orange seems a little bit too much. Uh Seems a little too safety orange to me. Like just doesn't seem to fit. Let's try kind of a brick red and see what that looks like. I mean, that's not bad. That's still in the earthy tones. Like you could probably get that out of a clay or something. That's not bad. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we could do with the trim and see if we can get something that plays well. That's not bad. Let's go a little brighter pink and see what that's like. That's not bad. That's not bad. We may leave that for a minute. And sometimes we do that. Sometimes things just get colored that way because we're like, well, we'll try that for a minute and see how that goes. And then we just end up leaving it because, bigger fish to fry and whatnot. I want the sash to stand out a little bit and not get confused in the shape. So I made it a little bit darker shade of the same color. But actually, their whole uniform is one color, which makes sense. Like, even if this was bright white for the edge on their robes, it would probably bleed when they're washing them and whatnot. So I think that makes lovely sense together. All right, we're gonna grab that color, and I really wanted that to be more of a mud color. Let's try. I can't do it that exact same shade because then she'll get lost in the steps. All right, now what I'm going to need to do is select color gamut on her skin and lasso fill the bottom of her leg and her hand because I really wanted to show that they were muddy coming up here to kind of really help sell the reason for the bathing. But I don't want them to get lost in it either. Like maybe just her being that muddy. See, her hand kind of gets lost there though. I don't like that. So let's go a little lighter with it here. Let's go a little more lighter. Still needs to be darker than the skin color. Maybe that'll work. Let's try that. Now I'm going to go to selected layer and I'm going to select that color. And now I'm actually selecting on the layer that I'm working on. But now I don't have to try and mask out those layers again because I'm using the tool that's doing it for me. Here and here is not enough of a change. So we're going to have to make that one a little darker. Okay. Let's see. Okay, well, all right, we're going to leave that for now. Now let's reference layer, select color gamut, grab that. All right, now we're getting those stairs. Now I'm going to select that color from the stairs. I'm going to go a little darker, a little more saturated, and I'm going to see what this looks like as a shadow on that stair. Not bad. I don't know that's good, but it's not bad. And we ain't trying to do Katie caliber work over here. Shh, don't tell her I said that. Don't want her to know. You know, it's stuff like that that makes this really hard to edit down into usable clips of video later on. I say so many stupid, weird things on this show that just make it a challenge to get usable clips out of it without them having just some real weirdness in the middle somewhere. All right. That was my idea originally, was to have that be a little lighter where it had been chiseled into there. But I don't like the look of that. So we're going to undo that. And let's try a darker color. See how that does. So what they say, if it doesn't work the first time, try a darker color. Eh, still not getting exactly what I wanted. Does kind of look maybe like it's more dug out. Natural colors can be surprisingly bright. They weren't all beige. Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're all kinds of stuff. Get indigo blue and greens from plants, absolutely. Absolutely. We had all kinds of cool colors before modern industrial complex. All right, let's try it over here and see what it looks like if we do these carved out chunks in this darker color. Eh, not bad. Not Katie good, but not bad. All right, let's grab that color and we're going to go a little brighter, a little higher up. And we're going to put some highlights on the edge of this mountain. Just pick out some spots on the rocks that we think might get a little sunshine. Some of those top facing areas there. Some of them spots the rain might hit first. Gonna catch some sunshine. There we go. Alrighty. This is all stuff I don't like doing over here. These are the colors I just wish I didn't have to fool with sometimes. Like trees disappearing off in the distance. The colors get complicated. And separating trees from grass and bushes from trees and yeah. And it's fun sometimes, but man, it also racks my brain sometimes to get a convincing color and why does that one look good but this one doesn't. Okay. I'm gonna turn this just so it's a little bit easier for my brain to wrap around. Grab that color. And these buildings were all supposed to be like an Adobe. Okay. That'll work well enough. And then we got rocks down here at the end that she colored green because she didn't know what they were. She was doing her best. She's doing her best with the chaos I gave her. Tell you, if I knew what I was doing, I'd be dangerous. Alrighty. Now get those interior colors. Go a little darker. And throw everything in some shadow. And we're going to go way darker for some of it. Alrighty. That's workable. I'm putting a whole lot of effort into something very few people are going to see. Well, very few people are going to notice. But as I always say, it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Alrighty. Why is there one square building down here, you ask? I don't know. Just because there are. Just because I thought it was neat to mix it up a bit. Maybe it was left over from a long time ago, before they had to build their huts out of mud. But the civilization that's living here now doesn't know how to build it like that. A little brighter. Let's see that. Oh, that didn't stop it. It's too big a gap, fishy. You knew that. But you tried your luck anyway. Silly fishy. Silly, silly fishy. Alrighty. That's coming along nice and tidy. All right. Let's see. Okay. I don't want to go there, but I want to go a brighter green, but also a little bit easier to fade into. Oh, I like that. Doesn't have to be super complicated. Doesn't have to be as hard as you make it, fishy. Well, sometimes it does. Agree to disagree. Sometimes I wish I could remember why I wanted those sticking up like that. I don't remember what my thought process was. But for now, I'm going to make them logs because I don't remember what I was thinking. Maybe I was thinking smokestacks or something. Oh. There ain't no telling with crazy people like me. All right. Nope, that ain't the color. That's a little better. All right, now I'm gonna hold down Control Alt. Well, I'm gonna open that. I'm gonna find my line art layer. Then I'm gonna hold Control Alt, and I'm gonna click on the little picture here, and that deselects everything that was in that layer, which was the line art. So it just cut all the line art out of my selection for me. And then I'm going to shrink that selection just a wee bit, not 10 points as small as we are here. Let's try 3 and see what it does. There we go. That's going to be pretty. There we go. That gives us a little bit of definition on there. A little bit of something. Keep them occupied. Now we're going to select that. We're going to take that blue. We're going to go a little deeper and darker for the shadows under here. All right. And now we're going to select color gamut and select that area. It just got right there. Oh, no, wait a minute. We're going to select color gamut. We are going to turn it on to selected layer. Then we're going to select right there. And now it is selected everywhere this blue is, which includes the waterfall over here, and didn't select that other blue. Now I'm going to go to my selection lasso tool. I'm going to come over here to select from selection. It's a weird name for it, but basically whatever I draw a selection around there, it's going to keep, and it got rid of all the other selections. So everywhere else that blue is gone. And now it's just selected right here. And I'm going to grab this blue. I'm going to go way lighter with it. I'm going to bring my airbrush down smaller, and I'm going to highlight here where it's getting closer, and then I'm going to get here, and I'm going to enlarge it a little bit, and I'm going to darken it a little bit down in the deeper sections of the water. And that's all I really want to do. I don't want to go crazy with it. I don't want to go crazy. I don't get the cops called or nothing. I just want to give it a little something, a little tappy tap of some texture. And go a little lighter, a little more yellow. Give me a little selection here on the top edge of that tree. That's not bad. That's not even selected, dummy. Doesn't have little squirmy lines around it. You should have been able to tell. You shoulda, you woulda, you coulda, but you didn't. And I'm not spending a lot of time on it, but that's literally like the size of my thumb. I probably spent way more time on those trees than I should have because they're so tiny and they're so distant. And in the end, nobody's going to remember those trees. But you know what? I did it anyway. All right, select color gamut, and now I'm going to turn it on to reference layer again. I'm going to click here and I'm going to click there so I get all of those. I'm going to get my selection tool, which is on the little intersect one there, and I'm going to draw my selection just around that area because I don't want any of the other mountainsides selected. I added a new layer above my colors just for what I'm fixing to do. I'm going to grab that color blue. I'm going to go a little bit lighter, and I'm just going to airbrush a little bit right there to try and give that some depth, like it's going down into the waterfall. It's getting farther away from us, trying to get a little bit of atmospheric effect there. I am actually, this black area here is, this folder has all my line art in it. I'm going to make a layer above that. I'm going to make it red, and I'm going to make it a screen layer because I know red, in my mind, red means special effects. And I want that to come out as a special effect. Oh, Kyron, good. Everybody quit talking about Kyron. I'm looking at you, PJ. It's a shame what he was saying about you, boss. It's a shame. All right. And now I'm going to select me an area right there. I'm on a screen layer above it. It's labeled red so that I know it's my special effects layer. I'm going to grab that sky color, and I'm just going to give a little tappy tap back here to kind of sink that village down a little bit in the distance. I'm really trying not to use a lot of special effects and stuff in KAAW other than like explosions and things. I want to keep it as simple as I can, but sometimes you need to push stuff back. Sometimes it needs to look party. We don't need an explanation. Sometimes we just want to put pink ruffles on something. That's what Kyron told me. And I don't argue with him. Not when he has that look in his eye. There we go. Now that rock wall is the same color as the other rock wall. Now we're going to come in here to this here bell from hell. And somebody's dinging my digits. I don't need. Oh, I didn't put my phone case back on my phone after filming, and the sucker's slipping around like an eel. Where'd it go? There it goes. In the words of the great one, skadoosh. All right, now I'm going to go back. Make sure that's my line art layer. I'm going to hold Control and Alt, and I'm going to click in here. It deselects all that drawing on the line art layer. Come back over here. And I'm going to shrink my selection by 3 points. Let's try it again, see what that looks like. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Now I'm going to come in with my lasso fill tool with my highlight color and come in here. And now it's got this neat little raised effect around all that writing. There we go. Nice and easy, smooth and cheesy. Alrighty. Grab that. Let's make that this color. We'll grab that. We'll make it that color. See how that looks. No, we'll go a little darker than that. We'll go a little lighter on the end down here. There we go. Now we got a post hanging out of the wall. We got a bell hanging from it. We're sitting pretty. All right. Those rocks sticking out of the waterfall need to be the same color as the other rocks. Skadoosh. Now we need to figure out what color we're going to make those mechanics. I'm thinking a blue-gray. See how it looks. Survey says, not in my house. That'll work. Put a highlight down here. Yeah. I'm going to live with it for a minute. It's my mistake. I'm going to lie in it for a hot second. See what I think of it. I'm guessing we chased Sarah off. I ain't heard from her in a minute. It's probably Kyron that did it. All right, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go a different dark shade of that blue. See how that looks. Not bad. Not bad. All right, that's coming along. That's coming along fine. Let's see. Let's grab that gray. Let's grab that line down the middle. We're going to make that a glowy blue. Was eating supper or watching. Still here, despite Kyron's return. Well, I'm glad to see you was man enough to make it through Kyron's return. I almost didn't. I'll be honest. I almost stormed off in protest, and I realized it's my show. Can't do that. Can't let Marquise down. He came here for the good stuff. I can't let him down just because Kyron showed up. If I wasn't such friends with Kyron, I wouldn't pick on him so much. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't pick on him if I didn't love the man, have nothing but the utmost respect for him. At least a little respect for him. I know him anyway. I can attest to that part. I do know him. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe! I didn't know y'all was going to get the ticks for free. Money ain't for nothing, and your ticks for free. Oh, I didn't tell y'all what my shrink had the audacity to tell me. I have been running around chasing down rabbit holes after one idea after another recently. Just one new idea pops up, then another new idea pops up, and I'm just running after it. And I wasn't getting any of my like real work done that I was supposed to get done. See you later, PJ. And I was also annoying Jeff. He's watching too. He wanted to comment, but I think he chickened out. Come on, Jeff. Buck up, Buttercup. Join the ring. Anyway, I was telling her how I was jumping around from one thing to the next, and I wasn't really getting the stuff done that I needed to be getting done. And she had the audacity to sit there right to my face and tell me, well, of course, you're dopamine seeking. You've been so sad lately because of all the sad things that happened that you're out there just a dopamine seeking. You're jumping from one thing to the next to entertain your brain. How dare she? Just right out there in the open like that where anybody could have heard her. So, to prove her wrong, of course, I had to come home immediately and get lost down a rabbit hole. Ended up making 160 brand new trading cards, got 24 holographic trading cards, and I stayed busy doing that for 8 hours straight and forgot to eat, drink, go to the bathroom, or take my medicine. That'll show her. Oh, well. Yeah. It sucks that she could just spot me like that. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you, man. Marquis said, I would comment, but I have no clue what to say because I don't know jack about coloring. And I really need to spend time in Clip Studio to learn the tools. Oh, man. Yeah, we absolutely need to do that. I, too, have been dopamine seeking, says Katie. I'm here to tell you, man, that kind of hurt my feelings that she just, here I was really struggling with trying to understand why I couldn't pay attention to anything. She's just like, oh, that's easy. Wasn't that easy for me? I love my therapist, though. She's kind of mean. That's one of the things I love about her. Because we were friends long before she was ever my therapist. And actually, the reason I started going to see her in the first place was because I knew she was mean. And I knew she wouldn't take any mess and wouldn't let me, get away with anything just because, I was being dishonest or something. Because how you going to get any better if you're not willing to do the hard work and be honest about things? Kyron. Oh, that's so funny to me. Anyway, so, yeah. Let's see if we can paint bucket fill that. Yeah, we can paint bucket fill a lot of them. There we go. That's actually just what I wanted. Is there something in the water? Well, something in what water? There's something in this water right here. Let's see. I wanna. Hmm. No, that's too much. Yeah, that's boob soup. That's what it is. That's the technical term, the regional dialect, if you will. All right. Now we'll grab that doohickey right yonder. We'll make it a little bit deeper blue. Skadoosh. Now we're going to go way deeper for the shadows. Give it a little plunkety plonk, plonk, plonk. A little plunkety plonk with the bucket fill. Look at that. Bob's your uncle. There we are. School of Fish does not actually know who your uncle is, and is no way making any claims of paternity. Alrighty. I'm gonna have to color this little fella, and I don't. Man, he's gonna be. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with him because I had ideas, but she puts such crazy colors on things. I kind of forget what my idea was. Hmm. All right. Well, let's just start picking away at him. We'll do go a little tanner with skin tone. See how that looks. I mean, much lighter than his skin tone was, but tanner than my normal, regular first pick white skin tone. Um. All right. His glasses. We're gonna go with my standard blue for now. Beard and the eyebrows. We're gonna go. Let's see what that gray looks like. No, we're gonna go white or gray. All right. The base of his cloak. We are going to try this. Nope, that ain't it. That's better. The hard thing is some of these colors I have had rattling around in my head for years, and I've never actually colored the things in real life before. So, like, parts of this outfit are taken from characters that I made up almost 30 years ago now. And in my head, I always had ideas picked for their colors, but sometimes that doesn't really work right in reality, like it looked good in your brain, but it doesn't look good on the page so much. And for anybody wondering, uh, whenever you see these little shoulder pads on any character that I've created, and it has a stud in the middle and it has a circle or two, every once in a while three, but usually two. and then it has another stud out here on it, or more than one if there's more than one ring. Uh, their positions, like this one's always going to be in the center. This one's position is actually when he was born. That's like the star. This is the planet that they're on, and where it is in position around here is when they were born. So that's just a little tidbit about what goes into my thought process while I'm creating these kind of things. Like I said, I created this little piece for this outfit 30 years ago on a character, and that's what it was there for. And I have yet to get to use those characters in anything, and they may end up in the Alice Lost in Wonderland book at some point. They did actually make a cameo in Gary Feldman, assistant district manager of the multiverse in Fish Tales. The aliens made a cameo, but they were wearing suits because they were at the Department of Multiversal Affairs. So they weren't wearing their robes that they normally wear. But on their home world, they wear robes like this, and they have the shoulder pads. I stole all that and put it on here because eventually I had to come to terms with the fact that not everything I've thought of is going to make it to print. Not everything is going to see the light of day. Lots of it will, and some of it isn't going to see the light of day the same way I always thought it was. Like that story that I was working on with those aliens, particularly, goes back to a time traveling barbarian story that I've been working on for almost, God, it's creeping up on 30 years. Jeez, y'all are old. I've been working on it for a long time, and it's not going to see the light of day in its original format. It has been I don't want to say chopped up, but it has been reformatted to fit within the framework of Alice Lost in Wonderland. So I'm using a whole lot of those elements in this story, and I'm using a lot of those characters and stuff and bringing them over so I get to use them and, not wait around for the day that I get to tell my perfect story someday, because we never know how long we've got. And I want to be sure that I get these stories told, not wait around for some, philosophical day that's going to come on the horizon where I have thousands of people clamoring for my books and, IDW's like throwing job offers at me or Image or something. But I'm not waiting for that nonsense. I'm getting stuff done while I can. And that's what I'm all about now. I'm getting my stories out there while I can. And so it's getting reformed into a new story. And it's hard to say I like it better, but I absolutely like it every bit as much. And in some ways, I like it a little bit more because it's a little more fun now and a little less serious and gritty and miserable, because a lot of my stories kind of have a little hint of it. There's always seems to be a character that just can't win. That seems to be pretty common in my stuff. And, I actually am very happy with my life, but not everybody is that blessed. And I kind of like to portray that little bit of realism in my stuff. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit in how to use color flats to color. I did not get very far on this page, but I hope it helped a little bit. And anyway, I need to get off of here and go get some dinner. And I'm with you on that. Working for a company like IDW or any other company isn't a goal of mine anymore. I just want to tell my stories with my characters. Absolutely. Well, my wife's calling, so love you. I'm going to go. Have a great day. I will see y'all next time.
Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School of Fish Art Stream. J-Man wants a Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness.